Well, hello everyone, and welcome to my shop. All right, everyone, we're going to be back on the GMC again today, and we're going with a new plan C on those seats. I know them seats have been taking a while to get them in, but I believe I've got the final solution, and we're going to apply that, and that way we can put them behind and get on with some other stuff with getting this interior refurbed. All right, and how I'm going to implement Plan C has a lot to do with this brand new tool I picked up. This is a threaded rivet nut setter right here, this tool. And this is a box full of SAE and metric threaded rivet nuts. Now here's a close-up of a 1/4 all right? And if you can see this this edge right here on the end, on this end, you've got an edge. You see these serrations here, those teeth, and then you can see a threaded barrel here at the end. All right, so keep this in mind. Now, how this works is you open the tool. All right, spread it open. Now this is the 1/4 bit that's in it. You thread this on. All right. You stick it in the hole that's gauged for this, and you squeeze these together. And what it does is it collapses this like it does pretty much a rivet, and leaves the threaded section part to where you can then thread in a 1/4 nut. Now, what I'm going to show you is I did a test run, and on a piece of metal here. And you can see, here's the edge here, there's the end, and if you look, here's what's on the inside. That'll be where you don't see the blind side, and you can see where it's crushed the serrated part, leaving the threaded part. Okay. All right. So this is a 1/4. This is a 1/4 bolt, and you can see he bolts right in. Now I took a shorter one, and this thing took some torque. Now, of course, you can't go gorilla tight on them, but you know, it'll tighten up good enough to secure a 1/4. What you talking about? 10, 15 foot-pounds, something like that. So anyway, so that's how it works. Now this is going to help me with not only getting those seats bolted in, but also getting that door hinge bolt fixed. So anyway. All right, now I'm underneath the seats, and basically what I'm showing you is that bolt, that seat bracket there in that back, and this rear one, I can get to them from underneath here. Of course, there's no way I can get a bolt underneath that plywood, but with that that threaded nut rivet, I will be able to get back there and actually secure them. So I've got part of the Plan C is going to involve a piece of steel underneath the plywood that I'll set the rivets in. So anyway, just wanted to show that. And also show right here. So you see that hole there, the captured nut's gone, and so that's going to repair that. And I've ran a tap through these, all right, these up here, so they're good. So I've got to drill them out just a little bit more because these are 3/8/24. Now, I don't have, my threaded nut insert is a 3/8/18, I think, or 3/8/20. It's a coarse thread where these are fine. So it's just I'll have a different bolt that'll go in there. Otherwise, it'll be in like Flynn. So there you go, Plan C. That's where a step bed is a really good idea. All right, we're going to do our first one here. So you can't get a nut back there. First one failed. Here's number one. All right. I think that'll do. That's especially good where you can't get behind there with a nut. Okay, I can see where a cheaper tool could break. See, before I wasn't even going to have bolts in the back of this. Now I do. Very good. I'm going to go with nuts on these, but I'm going to go with them on this. Okay, there. Okay. All right. I can't go there. Well, the wall's too thin. We're going with nuts on those. All right. So we're only going to go with these where it's thick enough. Let me see. So he'll go like this. If I drill them out anymore, it'll take too much metal away. All right. So we're going with nuts there. It's kind of a pain to get a nut behind there, but that's all right. That's what we're going to do. All right. Now moving on to this side. Now we'll go bolts there. We'll go bolts there. All right. All right, what I want to do here for the two inside rear seat mounts, I'm going to put some metal underneath the plywood to bolt to. All right? Just to make it stronger, not depend upon the plywood itself. All right, looks like 19 inches is what I want. All right. That'll be good right there, all right? We'll cut him, then we'll drill 2 holes. Actually, we're going to drill 3 holes. We're going to put one in the middle too, so it can move. And actually, I'm going to slot it to where it can move some to make sure I can line up with these holes. And then once I get all 3 of them started, bang, we'll tighten them up and the rear of the seats are secured. Looks like we're about 16 and a half inches, a little over that. 16 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 eighths. 16 and 5 eighths. All right. Have to be as precise that way. Alright, so do that. Alright. Two inches, we'll go an inch. All right. All right, all three. You can see the back side of the three. All right, there we go. Let's go see how it fits. Those two are good. Now we just need to mark this other one. Get him drilled. Okay, remember now, I want to slot this. Because I want him to be able to, see, I want him to spin and go around. All right. Okay, and then this is it's adjustable. Oh, very good. So we can then tighten him down, and it'll secure that up and hold it down. Well, good deal. I think we got us a plan. All right, I've come up with a procedure to plug the holes to. I'm using one of these plastic plug caps, I guess. You can see there's a little ridge there. I'm going to spin the hole. Get him started. Put my hammer on him and set him. And there you go. I've got, so far, I've got 1, 2, 3 done. And we'll do one more. Just so happens that my step bit, Versa bit there, at the very highest, takes it out to where these 1/2 inch plugs will work. and that sets them. All right, good deal. So we'll go ahead and get on the other side. May have to use a regular bit to get him. So he's all right. Good deal. All right. We're finishing up some couple coats on the plywood and the two brackets, and I put some rust treatment on the pedestal over there. So we're gonna let them dry. And then I'm going to get in there and I'm going to start doing some sanding. I may pull that steering wheel. But as far as the seats go, the brace is ready, the brackets are ready. They are mocked up, ready to go. I can install the plywood, and then I can install the seats onto the plywood. So I don't have to do them all as one assembly. So anyway, that's where we're at right now. All right, while we're waiting for the paint to dry, we're going to go ahead and repair this right here. Now, I'm going with a 3/8, what is that, 3/8 18? 3/8 20. It's a 3/8 16, which means it's a coarse thread, where the fine thread is the others. Now I'm measuring this, the barrel, and it comes out at a 0.49 inches, which is the proverbial hair shy of a 1/2 inch. And this is a 1/2 inch bit, and I'm measuring the shank on it, and it comes up a 0.48. So it's 1/100th of an inch closer. So I believe I'm going to go ahead with the 1/2 inch bit. Well, look at that. It actually goes in. That rivet should actually go in, but it's not. It needs to be a hair bigger. All right. So it's a hair bigger than a 1/2 inch. I'll be right back. All right. The hole's a 1/2 inch. And according to my micrometer, that should have just slid right in there, but it's not sliding in good. So I'm pounding it in, then I'll spread it once I get it in there. There we go. All right. So right now I've got the 5/16 bit in it. Okay. Alright, then we put the 3/8 in there. Okay. Alright. Now, I don't know how I'm going to do this like this. This is going at it backwards pretty much. Let's see if I can take it in this way. All right, there we go. Okay. All right. I don't know if I've got a good enough bite on him or not. That's a reverse thread. Okay. I'm not in there good enough. There we go. I get it in good and tight. All right. There we go. Now I can't use the same. This is a coarse thread, so I've got to go with that. But there we go. I'll just use a lock. Well, I can't really use a lock washer because I've got to probably use some Loctite because they can't. The head. I may even have to grind the head down a little bit because these heads aren't as thick as that one. Well, they're about the same. All right, very good. So we got him repaired. That's a good thing. And well, we're waiting on painting to dry. I guess I could take a few other things out, but we're moving on to the point now where we're actually going to start doing some sanding on this dude. All right. All right, I think I'll do a hinge update while I'm waiting for paint to dry. And to bring you back up to date, here's the original hinges that I pulled off this 49 GMC. And if you look, you can see where the pin's busted. You can see where the hole here has been wallowed out. It's been wallowed out inside the hinge part 2. And then it's wallowed out and then the pin busted off. And then part of the frame here is busted. So this bad boy's in pretty bad shape. You know, anything's repairable. And there's, you know, the holes could be welded up. You know, that's one of the fixes they can do is to weld up the hole, or I could do, and then re-drill the hole. And the same could be done at this end also. But I don't know if I've decided I don't want to expend that much time with it. Now this is the upper hinge. It is missing the 2 lock springs, okay? But as far as play, it's in pretty good condition. It's there's a little bit of play, but not much. It would if those springs were in it, this would be serviceable as it is. So it could actually be cleaned up. This pin needs driven back down in it. Right here needs to be driven back down. You can see it's almost out down here at the bottom. See, and there's serrations there that'll dig into the hinge frame here to help hold it down. So this is serviceable. This isn't. Tell you what I'll do. Anybody wants these and you pay shipping, I'll give them to you. All right? Now, in previous videos, I talked about I bought a box full of old OEM parts from this fella. He took a 51 Chevy 3100 and he took it totally apart. He took it down to the nut and bolts, and he decided he was going back show quality. And he did, and he had all this OEM stuff laying around. And I got the chrome bumpers, the chrome grill, the seat, the sideboards that's in the Chevy now. I got from him. They were in pretty good shape. And what I had in the Chevy when I pulled it out of the barn, where it wasn't in good shape. But anyway, I thought I remembered when I was going through the parts that there was a set of hinges in it. And lo and behold, there's a set of hinges, okay? Now, and these are in real good shape. You can see the pin. It's not wallowed out. It's in there. It's tight. It's good and tight. This is the upper. There's no springs in it. So, but that springs can be put in, all right? So it's missing the springs. And then this is the lower, and it's in good shape too. There's no play at all. The bad thing about these are they are passenger side. Or the right side. They will not work to fix the problem I have with the GMC now, and that is that the driver's side or left side are shot. These will not work on the left side. But good news part 2, these are in such good shape that I would not hesitate to use them either on the Chevy or the GMC on the passenger side. Now, both of the passenger sides, they generally don't wear out as much as the driver's side. Driver's sides always wear out. So I'll determine which one will get these in the future. So that'll come. Well, anyway, so now we come to my final box sitting over here. Hold on a moment. Okay, I'm back. Now, where was I at before that air compressor so rudely interrupted me? Oh yes, I got another box here. All right, what I did is when I determined that these were that the lower hinge was just unrepairable, that's something I didn't want to do, I got on the internet and I found a set of reproduction, brand new hinges for half price from an aftermarket provider. Now, they were on eBay. I thought, well, what's wrong with them that they'd be, half price? So, it's a reputable company, and they did offer money back. So, if I wasn't satisfied, so I went for it. So, and this is what I got. 2 brand spanking new aftermarket springs. The best I can tell as far as doing a side-by-side and measuring, they match these originals. Now, on the upper, I'll show you on the upper right here, you can see there's the springs. Now, this is so tight I can't do it by hand. I have to put it in the truck, and I may show you. But what these springs do is they hold the door in the partial open and the full open position, okay? That's, when we get these trucks, these springs are always wore out or even missing. So we don't even know that that was an option, that the door would actually stay halfway open or fully open. And that's what these springs do, okay? Get him back up there. So that's the upper hinge right there. Now here's the lower hinge, okay. The lower hinge does not have the springs, so I can move him. And he's pretty tight, but it'll loosen with use. But there's no play, not one inkling of play. So I'm going to show you what the what the upper hinge does when it's in the door frame. That is the only way I can do it. Now this can only be taken in or out with the door in the open position. So you can see there's closed. And that's open. You see how tough it is? I said it was 2 position. I think it's really just either all the way open or closed. And it locks in that position. I mean, it'll hold that door open. And that's what it's supposed to do. And like I say, most of us didn't even realize that that was actually a feature. And the holes do line up. And they are elongated, so they're adjustable. So, and you can see, it just you can't, if this was in the closed position, it could not go in that hole there. And we'll go down here to the bottom hinge. All right. And you see those holes, and you can see my brand spanking new keeper down there will also keep it. And so those holes line up too. Now the holes in the door line up. I already matched that out. So all the dimensions seem good. So I think I may have just lucked into a great deal. I don't know. We'll know more when I go to put the door back on. So anyway, those of you that were waiting to see me rebuild the hinge, well, we're going to have to wait till I go after the Chevy or the GMC passenger side. Well, all right. We're waiting for, I put some rusting encapsulator in there to cover. I've got the holes plugged and the rust encapsulator put down, so it'll just put a black coating on it. I may paint it, I don't know, or I may just leave it just like that because it will not be seen. The plywood will cover it, and the plywood's over there drying. So anyway, I put some of these captured nuts, those rivet nuts. I put them in every position to bolt the plywood down other than these front 2. and I just didn't feel like there was enough metal to drill these holes out any bigger to put them in. So I'm going to be using lock washers and nuts on the bottom of them bolts to hold them in, which is probably better in the long run. So that's the plan. So now, the way it works, plan C, after I get sanding and some painting done, I can take the plywood, I can permanently mount the plywood in here, all right? Put it in touch-up paint if I need to. Then I can add the seats with the plywood already installed, one at a time, and bolt them in on all 4 mounts, okay? Because of that, the way I did the captured nut, rivet nuts on that, on the back of that plywood, I can move that metal bar. So I've got the metal bar getting the 2 inside seat mounts. So actually, if I do a counting, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 fastener positions on those on the plywood, and which is more than when it came as it came stock. Then you know the seats only have 4, so there's 8. So I've got 11 tie down, so that should be more than sufficient to hold it down. I don't see any problem with the 1/2-inch plywood. So anyway, we'll let it dry for a day or so, and then we're going to get in here, and then I'll probably remove the steering wheel, remove the tack, and just start sanding. What I'm not going to take the metal down. I'm not going to take it down the metal. What I'm going to do is this paint that's on there now, I'm going to take the finish off of it and kind of use it as more or less like a primer, okay? And I don't see the need to take it all the way down. And just prime it up. Again, this isn't a show truck, so that's how we'll do it. And I may get on them. I've almost decided what I'm going to do with them windshields. And you'll have to stay tuned to see what I come with on that. But anyway, so now the seat's done. Well, I finally got that done. I mean, they're not in, but the method of getting them in is done. The mock-up was good, so good, and everything fits. The seating position is good, so we're good to go on the seats. So now it's just a matter of getting this thing more presentable, and then dealing with the windshields. You know, every glass in this truck except for this back glass, that back window is bad. I mean, every glass, isn't that something? So anyway, so I've got to deal with that. And the engine 3,000 mile service is coming up. It's within 400 miles on the Chevy. And also I've got 6,000 mile tire rotation and a 10,000 mile general service. And I've got 26,000 miles on those front brake shoes. So I've already got new shoes, so I'll be putting new shoes on the Chevy. So that's coming up. But before I can free this slot up for that, I need to get him roadable, and so we can swap positions. So anyway, so we're working hard to get him presented out on the road so we can get the Chevy in here and get it serviced up. I mean, it doesn't have to be, but I want to keep one of them running. I don't want them both down, especially with weather breaking. So anyway, if you like these old trucks, give me a thumbs up, give me a comment, and subscribe if you haven't. None of them will cost you a thing, and it helps me out with YouTube. I hope you're staying safe in your homes and in your communities and in your cities, wherever you're at. You know, we're not on a full lockdown here, but you know, I went out today to get those plastic plugs that I used on the floorboard, and half the people I ran into at Ace Hardware and at the fast food place where I got a lunch were wearing masks. So you know, people are really being really cautious now, and especially since, you know, hopefully we're hitting that apex, we're hitting the top of that thing. So anyway, I hope you stay safe. Also, and lastly, and most importantly, this week is Easter week. Now, I realize that some of you all may not be Christian, and that's fine. I don't hold it against you. I don't damn you for it. I don't wish you any ill will for it. I am, my family is, and this is probably the most important date coming up that a Christian can have. You know, we celebrate Christmas because of the birth of Jesus, and Jesus could have come without that. Easter, his death and his resurrection, is what changed everything. I don't know how you feel about Jesus, but what I want you to know is that he loves you. God loves you. And he went to the cross to pay the price so we could be saved and deal with God without an intermediary, so that we could be with God if we so desire. And that's your free choice. That's up to you. So anyway, Easter is a very important time in our lives, and I wish you a great Easter, and I wish you to stay safe. And, well, I guess I'll be seeing you around. See you.